We're here today with Cara and Kim from John Brown University. Thank you guys for being here, and for sure it's going to be super valuable information for international students to know more about John Brown as a whole and the Esports program. So, thank you for attending.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, really excited to be here.
So, one by one. So, has been your journey, and how did you end up in the position you are now in John Brown?
Carter and I are both full-time employees in other fields, but back in like 2019, I believe we both had a vision for esports, and we've started really just from the ground up with some tournaments and then club teams, and then this fall our program will be a varsity program through the athletic department. So it's grown, and we've just grown right along with it.
So for me, as Tim said, I'm a full-time employee in the marketing department here. My journey with esports in 2008, about 15 years ago, I started playing Smash Bros. Competitively. Very long time ago. I don't play anymore. I wasn't that great to begin with, but I love the game, fell in love with esports. I grew up playing traditional sports as well, so just kind of it matched competitiveness and just video games at the same time. So fell in love with it, and all these years later have partnered with Kim to build this esports program at JBU. And we started with really like 3 students up, and now we have this last year we had 47 players across 6 different titles. It's really just kind of blown up, and we're excited about the future.
Yeah,
That's great.
And inspiration for me was I've been working in a doctoral program at Boise State University, and Doc Haskell, who's the head of esports there, was one of my instructors, and that's kind of how I got involved with esports at that point. And so my doctorate is in my research department. My research topic was women in collegiate esports leadership.
That's great. And how would you say like an esports program impacts as the experience that a student has in college, like with or without it, like how does an esports program make the experience in college much better? That's better phrased.
To me, I think every student is looking for a place to belong, and they're looking for people to do it with, to work together towards something. So being on a team and practicing and getting to know each other, and win or lose, regardless of how the games actually go, getting to grow something with your teammates is just they're able to find a sense of belonging in that, in my opinion.
Okay.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and also like we always say that the higher the GPA and your TOEFL and SAT exam, the higher chance you have to get an esports scholarship, because a coach or the esports director will be more interested in you. How can you explain like how much of this is true, and why you're striving to recruit like top academic students for your esports program?
Right. Uh, they're here to be a student first. We want them to, be able to earn that degree and focus on academics as their top priority. Carter, do you want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, we do have a minimum GPA requirement. Our leagues require that we have a minimum GPA requirement to even be eligible to play in those leagues. So they have to go to class, they have to get their work done, and quite frankly, our computers can track, like, we know how much you're playing. So if you're not going to class and you're spending too much time in the esports lab playing Rocket League, like, we're gonna know that. So we want our student esports athletes to be good students first, then a good teammate, then a good player as well.
Right. We want them to stick around. We don't want them to come for just one semester and not be able to maintain their minimum GPA. And we want them to excel. And then as we're part of the athletic department, they have an average GPA, and they always want that entire GPA to be higher. And so we want to help elevate that and not bring it down with our esports program.
That's great. And now that we're talking about students, like how would like a day to day look like for a student, like both in class and practice and competition? Can you take us through that?
You want me to answer? I can answer that one if you'd like me to, Kim. Yeah. So, kind of the goal. We're restructuring our program right now. We're about to launch as a varsity program here in really about a month as school's about to kick off. But for our top teams, they're going to have 2 games a week and 2 practices a week. And then they'll also have some free play time as well, where the lab will be open. They can practice, play, just have fun. But I mean, Monday through Friday, they are going to be getting up and going to class. At John Brown University, we are a faith-based interdenominational Christian university, so there's chapel several times a week as well. So they'll take full class loads. So that's anywhere from 12 to 18 hours. They'll practice twice a week for several hours. And we'll also have just like a team bonding activity that we plan to have for each roster. So I mean, that's a full day. That's classes and practices. I mean, doing your homework in the evenings, on the weekends. I mean, it's a full-time job. It certainly is. I mean, you're 40 plus hours a week of doing all of these things. So college students have a lot to balance and a lot to manage. So that is the expectation when they come over to be a student here and be on an esports roster here.
Right.
That's right. And what would you say is like the ratio, like students that want to get into the esports sector, all those students that just want to then go to a workforce with their degree and use esports to have an amazing time in the uh, like a college experience? What would you say is the ratio of students?
I would say most of them are here for, getting that degree, but at the same time, enjoying their time of competition and playing and building those relationships with their teammates. At John Brown currently, I haven't really seen any that are pursuing that professional level of esports, but really their degree and whether engineering, computer science, cybersecurity, that's here that seems to be the top priority, although they do want to excel in their play at the same time.
That's great. And also, like the community you've built, okay? What a how do they like? How does John Brown like if they want to go to the workforce, like in the degree they've studied, what job opportunities does John Brown, or how does John Brown guide the students, into attaining the jobs they could potentially want?
So for one, we have a very good career development center here on campus. We have a job fair that, well, to context, where we are located, there are a ton of big companies, a ton of great organizations that are looking to hire our graduates. So we have a very robust career development center that has a career fair on campus every single year. We have smaller class sizes. We have faculty that know of professionals in the area that are hiring, and we just have a very good reputation of having great graduates who companies are looking to hire. And because of our smaller class sizes and because our faculty members really know our students, they are really able to help connect those students to employment opportunities in the future. We have several majors here that boast like a 100% job placement after college. That's not all of them, but a lot of them are really able to find that role soon after graduating, or even sometimes before they've even graduated.
Right. And we also have a lot of our programs, like, for example, cybersecurity or some of our business programs use a lot of people that are professionals in industry as adjuncts. So, with Walmart being based 45 minutes away, we have professionals there working as adjuncts in our programs. And so not just Walmart, but other industries as well or other businesses as well. So that's really a benefit to the students.
Okay, and how did John Brown like started to like invest in esports? Was it like student run, and then you wanted to take it a step more ahead, or was it like straight away like, okay, let's build a varsity, a club esports? Like, how was the transition? Let's call it that way.
I'll let you take that one, Kim.
Okay, well, it's kind of a mix of student run and staff run, really. It's definitely wasn't a top down or a bottom up, but just right in the middle. We had staff people, Carter and I, and then also Lee Schrader, who was in our IT department, on the staff side, and then we had students also that were very interested, and so we started just with a couple tournaments to see who is interested in playing. Went from there to becoming a club sport with a student writing our constitution and being able to be a club sport and getting some fundraising that way. And that program really grew and caught the attention of our athletic department, who's wanted to make it a varsity sport.
That's great. And was like the video games you have, was it the students that did you put them because of student interest, or did you put them because like there was a big league, university league? Like, how do you like define the video games that go and don't go in this program?
So I guess really, Kim, we started with what students on campus were playing. We really only started with Rocket League and League of Legends. We fielded, I think, 2 teams to start. Well, originally just one Rocket League team trying to play in a national league,
Mm-hmm.
and then kind of grew to League of Legends, and then that grew to Overwatch, and then that grew to Super Smash Bros. And we realized we have all of these students on campus who are playing all of these games, and so year by year it really grew and continued to grow. And now we're recruiting players who play these games, as we know that
Yeah, we've also got chess, and we added Valorant last year. So we had 6 games last year, and we've had 2 students that are interested in iRacing that are coming in the fall. So we're adding that as well. But say it really depends on the students that are coming. We'll try to make it work for them what they like to play.
That's great. And to get the students a bit more pumped up, can you talk about a bit the facilities that you have, like all the tech, all the basically everything, the infrastructure, everything?
Yeah. So we currently, our room that we've been playing in was kind of passed on to us. We took some computers we had, we kind of pieced it together. We bought graphics cards for them. So right now, that's just 10 computers in a room that was given to us in one of our art buildings. Here in about, I guess, a couple of weeks, it should be about done. We're about to have an actual esports arena on campus. So we're going to have 20 high-powered Alienware computers with 40 series cards, graphics cards in them. We're going to have a full tournament stage, full streaming capabilities through with an actual tournament stage and stadium seats that spectators can come in and watch. We'll have it'll be 20 computers with multiple console locations for our Super Smash Bros. Players. It's going to be a true, like, good esports viewing experience right here on our campus. We're really excited about it. We've put a lot of work into the arena.
Right. It's seats 70, 75, I believe, and it will be great.
Okay. And are you planning to like be like the facilities to be open like 24/7, or is at a certain time? What is your perspective on that?
Yeah, it will. It'll be open probably midday for esports players until midnight is our plan right now. And
Mhm.
then our other space that Carter described that we have currently, that we'll still be using that as our backup space, and it will have longer hours. It's technically open till about 2 a.m. And opens at 7 a.m. So that's always available too. So.
Okay, great. And how would you describe your esports community here in John Brown? Because it says about a lot about the esports program and the leader of the esports program. So how would you describe the community?
It's great. I mean, they're so fun. I mean, we at the very root of it, we're just all a bunch of gamers who enjoy playing games together, but they enjoy competing at a high level too. But each team kind of has its own community, but it's still just so fun to see them all interact and get to know each other and win together and lose together. It's really really fun. They just continually look for ways to grow and hang out together and just have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And when recruiting, like beyond gameplay, what are the skills that you're looking for a player? And also, what that's the word. What are the things that you spot in an interview with a player that you're like, okay, would fit in my sport program, or he's not a good fit? Like, what are those skills?
Yeah, of course, we're looking for good communicators, good attitudes, positive attitudes, that are excited about playing, excited about growing and excelling, but where they can communicate with each other well, so you know that as a team member, they're able to do that. Also, we talked to them about how they problem solve, or how they handle positive situations, how they handle maybe losing or negative situations, and how they communicate those things.
Are those the transferable skills that you plan on developing for when they enter the workforce? Is there another skill that you also think it's very important for them to have in the workforce?
Again, organization, and again, communication, because schedules are always changing. They have to be able to communicate those schedule changes, or practices, or be able to flex their own schedule a little bit, so that they can get their work done if a schedule change happens, or that sort of thing. And just being able to communicate their needs. So if they have a project that's due, we've noticed that, if a student has a paper due and there's a practice schedule, the other team members are willing to help work around that, so that student can get that paper done, and still have practice where it works for everyone. And so that flexibility, and being able to work with each other's schedules is really helpful too.
That's great. So if a student, for example, is like it has a not a burnout, but like it's very like because it's academics practice and competition. If they feel like very overwhelmed, what would be like? How can they go to you guys and say like asking for help? Is there like maybe some counselors in the university, psychological support? This is more like a question for parents, so they stay like more calm.
You can go ahead, Kim, if you do that.
Okay, I was
I,
gonna say,
you
we
have a good
do
answer.
have a counseling center on campus that students can schedule times if they want to speak with a counselor. They're also, we're freely available to talk with them as well. We also have academic support available on campus. So if there's an area that they're struggling with academically, there's ways to schedule tutoring, or other academic help. So there is support here, and we can help direct them to where to find that.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's great. That's great.
I just think if they communicate that to us, like I mean, we're still pretty new in this program too, so we're
Mhm.
learning what the best balance is for both play and for study and just having personal time. So we're really open to figuring out what is best for our players and what is best for our program.
Do you also like not maybe not include, maybe yes, but like also advise in more of the nutrition and like doing sports? Not saying every day because they're not student athletes, but like a bit during the week enhances their performance, is healthier for them to have a better balance in their college life. Do you address those kind of things?
I think that's something we're kind of exploring right now that we don't necessarily have a full plan for yet. But Kim and I have talked. That part of the reason we wanted to close our arena at 12 was just so that our players are going back to their dorm rooms and sleeping. We don't want them. We don't want them playing all night. They don't need to be playing all
Mhm.
night because they're still students. So we're still learning and kind of figuring out what the best balance is and what resources we can give. So we've talked about mental well-being. We've talked about the physical and we want them working out together and exercising together. Nutrition's another one. We haven't really explored it yet, but we should. That's another one that we need to talk about and have an actual good plan for about how we're going to communicate that to our players.
Right. We're fortunate our new arena is situated in our health complex. So the gym is right out the door. I mean, they can just leave right out the door. There's the gym, the track, basketball courts, pool, swimming pool. So we have a great facility for promoting physical activity as well.
Yeah, that's great. And just to wrap this up, where can students or the parents and the parents find you on social media?
All of our social media accounts. So Instagram, really, we just do Instagram and Twitter currently. JBU, just JBU Esports, all together like that. And then if they want to learn more about John Brown University as an institution, that's just jbu.edu. And on there, we have all of our academic programs, all of our community life, all of the things that students can be involved in. And then our application, of course, is on there as well. So if a student does find interest in our university and wants to apply, they can apply on jbu.edu.
Right. There's an interest form for esports. If they go to the JBU website and go to the esports section, there's a interest form link they can click on and fill out. We also have a link tree that has all of the links for the interest form, our social media, etc. Carter, what is the link tree?
I believe it is just Linktree. I believe just linktree.com/JBU Esports. I always forget that one.
I think so, but that's a great place to access all of that.
Okay. Okay, that's great. Well, thank you very much, and we stay in touch.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.